Hello, this is Alex Contreras, and just going to show you off some of the updates to my tank game so far. So, some of the completed features I fully coded player movement and rotation, as well as the bullet mechanics and a bounce mechanic. In terms of sound, I have sound effects for the bounce and the explosions, as well as the background music. The enemy destruction mechanic is finished, so enemies do have collision, and I can destroy it with my bullets. And the prefabs for the environment are completely done, and a sample of the gameplay is finished, so I can show you that. Going into my Unity player, you can see this is the scene for the game, the sample level, which doesn't have too complex of terrain, just fully basic. It has the outer walls and the inside the two tanks. The green tank is the player tank, and the red tank is the enemy tank. We can play that right now. You can hear that that's the background music starting up, and you can see I fully implemented movement and rotation for this tank, backwards and forwards, as both gamepad support as well as keyboard support with WASD and the arrow keys. Collision is also implemented for the walls against the player tank, so you can't um, leave the little environment. And once I put in terrain, you won't be able to go through that terrain and those obstacles like you ought to. The shooting mechanic, as I said, is fully implemented with a bounce when it hits a wall and a ricochet and an explosion at the end. You can hear the sound effect for those. It can also handle multiple shots, so you can hear the sound effect better. And then I have a little visual for the tank explosion, not the tank explosion, for the bullet explosion. In terms of the AI, the AI has not been implemented yet. However, the enemy can be destroyed with a bullet. Um, and yeah, that's it for the functionality. I can also kill myself. So if you hit a bounce incorrectly, it will bounce back and it will destroy the player. Going back to the slides. Um, to do features, I want to, by the end of the project um, timeline, I want to implement procedurally generated randomized levels. So now that I've created my sample level, I want to create a level one, and then the level two can be generated through a small little algorithm, changing to the terrain and the number of enemies as well as their placement. Um, the when I have a level transition, so once you destroy all the enemies like I did there, instead of continuing, it has some victory music, and then you immediately move on to the next level that's generated. I want to implement some basic AI, tank AI, just randomized movement and perhaps shooting at the player, um, maybe delayed shooting. Sound effect for tank movement, sound effects for winning and losing the round, as well as basic UI along with maybe player lives and a game over string. Wish list, if time permits. Maybe if I finish up with all the basic features that I wanted and I originally proposed, then I maybe want to implement more complex enemy AI, as well as more varied enemies, a start screen, a restart function. So if you lose and get a game over, you can go back right back into it. Um, or maybe you are sick of playing the fifth level and you want to start over, you can click a button and it will go back to the beginning. Bombs, which is just more varied weapon, and then more varied level terrain as well. And yeah, that's what I want. That's a video update. You can see the prefabs, these models I got from the Unity tank tutorial. Uh, this material I got from other Unity asset stores or other uh, assets I gotten for the asset store at Unity, um, as well as these prefabs for the tanks and the shell and the explosion I got from the tank tutorial that Unity has provided. And yeah, that is uh, my update for my tank game so far. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.